What's up, guys? My name is Adriel Rivera, and I make music in my shed. Join with me today is somebody else who also makes music in my shed. Credit card abuser, Deacon James Pres Washington.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Yeah, that one hurt. Yep, you were right. That one hurt. That's crazy. It's true, man. It's true. It's bad. It's bad. But yeah, that's me. I got nothing to say. There's no redemption.
Damn. I thought of that because of the bar you did that one time. Got credit card debt as long as the zip code.
Bro's a rapper.
He is a rapper. Yep. I hope it's doing good though.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You making progress?
I'm making progress.
That's awesome. That's what we like to hear.
Thank you.
Shout out James, guys. Shout out James. What are we doing today?
Today, I forgot the name of the song, but we're doing the lyrics for the new song today.
I don't know where to go.
Sorry. I don't know where to go.
You're good, bro. And you know what else? You know where we
What?
we know where we are going?
No.
We're going to listen to the song. So this is I don't know where to go. That was the end of it.
Oh my
We're
God.
gonna start over. All right. This is actually the song.
I don't know where to go. I walk this direction but don't really have much to show. They all say it's part of growth, but if that's the case, then why do I still feel so little? My dad says he's proud of my progress. My mom doesn't trust in the process. So I don't know where to go. My girlfriend will tell me that she'll be right here for the whole. But I will say I've hit a wall, and she deserves so much that I can't yet give her at all. I struggle to find where this road's at. Maybe it's safer if I go back. Oh, I hate how much I have to learn to grow, but I know that I can't say I don't hope that one day I'll be better from it all. Time is something that's not really on my side. I can feel my 20s pass me by, hoping that this means I have the life I'd like. I don't know where to go. I walk this direction but don't really have much to show.
Adriel Rivera.
Yeah, the producer tag will be on there in the final release, guys. I just forgot it this time around, but it happens.
People make mistakes, bro.
Yeah. Hey, what'd you think of the song?
I do really enjoy this. Like, oh man, it's so calm, and then when you listen to it, like sometimes it really makes you think.
Really makes you think. Makes you think?
It makes me think.
What do you think about?
What do I think about?
Yeah.
Well, I think about the ways that I believe that I relate to the lyrics. We're gonna dive into what the lyrics mean to you, so we'll see if that's true.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So, first question, based off of this lyric, I've walked this direction, but don't really have much to show.
Yeah.
What does that mean and why?
Okay, so what it means, when you think about like career choice and stuff like that, you choose a path, you choose a direction, and my direction was going towards music. And typically when you think about a career, you think about your salary, income, things like that. I know you're never supposed to compare yourself to other people, you know what I'm saying? But being 23 years old and seeing, you know, our peers that we went to school with, that, you know, that are our friends, things like that, you see the salary that they're making, you know, the income they're making, where they're living, where their life is, and it's just not where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, you know, it's easy to compare, because it's like, we're same age, went to the same school, had, you know, that, like, blah, blah, blah. Just shows different directions. You know, I chose this path, they chose their path, you know?
Yeah.
And so while those people have, you know, what they have to show for the path that they chose, I don't feel like, when in terms of where I want to be, like, you know, like in income wise, living wise, I don't feel like I have much to show, you know? And now, you know, I'm not going to say that I don't have anything to show for it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yes, I have made progress. There is a lot of progress that I made. There's a lot that I've learned, a lot of skills that I picked up. Oh, excuse me, I burped.
Happens, bro. Happens. Been there.
But despite that, you know, I feel like I should be further, you know? And that's not in blame of any outside forces. That's completely like my responsibility as, like, you know, I'm not saying I deserve to be farther. I've done so much, you know what I'm saying? It's more of like, I should be farther because I should have done more. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of feeling that I have towards this mentality. And yeah, so although I know I do have progress, there is progress, I feel like, in terms of how much progress that I want to have made. It's not entirely there. But full disclosure, I'm doing all right in terms of, like, mental health wise. I'm not like beating myself up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Although sometimes it does happen.
Yeah.
Like, you can't fight it. You know, my self-worth, this isn't the only thing that my self-worth is in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Good mindset to have. And then I just wanted to ask, like, this follow-up is, you were talking about comparison. How much of this feeling of, you know, you don't have much to show comes from, like, comparison versus, like, expectations that you would set for yourself? Like, do you think it's mainly you feel that way because of comparison, or because of the things that you thought you were going to have when you started?
I think it's actually 100% it's expectation.
Okay.
You know, and that's not really comparing myself to others. Even like in the music industry, right? Like, I don't really compare myself to others in the music industry, you know, as in, like, somebody that might be my age, you know, having more monthly listeners, stuff like that. It's not necessarily that I'm like, oh, you know, like, why am I not at that point when we're the same age? It's like, it's not really that, you know, it's more so of, like, how you're saying expectations. It's like, I have high expectations for myself.
Right.
And what I'm capable of and what I can do. And so when I don't meet my own expectations, it's like, you know, it's disappointing.
Yeah.
You know? I guess that's more of what it is. It's just like, it's disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. This next question, which we kind of touched on it there, but is based off of the lyric when you were talking about your parents' perception of it. My dad says he's proud of my progress. My mom doesn't trust in the process, so I don't know where to go. So do you acknowledge, like, the progress when you make it? And then also, do you trust in your process?
I do trust in my process. I definitely feel like this will all pay off in some way. Because, again, like I said, even though, like, for example, with YouTube, I did YouTube for a good few years. And then, you know, in the last year and a half, almost 2, I think, I stopped doing YouTube because I wanted to focus on making music, because this ultimately is the career path I wanted. And being a YouTuber was not it, you know. Yeah. I was making a living, or I was making income in the music space, but it wasn't being an artist, which is what I want to make income from, you know.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately the biggest reason why I quit, because it just was not fun for me anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Not saying that I wouldn't go back to YouTube and that I wouldn't have fun with it, but my passion does not lie specifically in music production. I like making music, but I don't necessarily, feel like teaching music is my calling, I love marketing, and you know how much I love to talk to you about it. And so like, I definitely think if I came back to YouTube, it would be based around the marketing side of music and how to like grow that. And I was actually talking to my girlfriend the other day. I'm going on the tangent. Help me come back to it because I don't know.
We're on a podcast, dude. So go ahead. Go on your tangent.
I'm going to go on my tangent, but
Yes.
I'm going to need you to help me come back to what the original point was.
I got you.
Okay, so to further go down this tangent, my girlfriend, we were talking about this very topic, actually, about YouTube and me, like if I would ever come back to YouTube, and what I would do if I came back to YouTube. And the realization that I made in that conversation was that I love marketing so much and talking about marketing so much because no matter what niche it is that you're in, you can change your life if you know how to market.
Yeah.
Because the best, most talented singer in the world, the most beautiful voice, can never be heard by anybody because they don't know how to market themselves. And so if you want to make a living off of what you love, if you know how to market, you know how to change your life. And so I think ultimately marketing is the number one most important skill to have to make the biggest change in your life.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just crazy how anything can be made a living if you know how to market it well.
Yeah. I mean, everything goes into that. Even like, when it comes to like getting a job, knowing how to better position yourself in an interview or something, like that's part of marketing. You know what I mean?
You're marketing yourself as an employee.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it helps in all facets of life when you're talking to people and when you're trying to persuade somebody. Like all of those tactics, like you can use them.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And so that's why I feel like if I came back to YouTube, I would be so much more passionate about talking about that, because in my mind, because I am passionate about it. Like that is, I will say at this very moment and within the last few years, I've been so much more passionate about the business and marketing side of music rather than the music itself, not that I don't love making music, because obviously I do. You hear the emotions in my songs and it's like, it helps me. Like, I get my emotions out and I love making songs,
Yeah.
And more importantly, I love the connection that I make with people that listen to my songs. Another tangent, I get emails sometimes from like the people on my email list, which by the way, if you want to join my email list for early access to my latest releases, which is every month, feel free to check it out in the link below. But whenever I get emails from people talking about how my music has impacted their life, even like changed their life and things like that to me is like amazing, because I'm making music from the heart and putting my emotions out there. If that helps anybody in any way, it's like, this is what it's for,
Yeah.
So obviously I love making music, and I'm not going to say that it's not important to me, because it is.
Yeah.
But in terms of what I would want to teach people, marketing, I feel like changes people's lives, like you can really change your life if you know how to market yourself.
Yeah.
And so like, I would love to teach that because I'm so passionate about it. And that would probably change. I don't want to say that it probably would change most people's life, but in my mind, I feel like it can make the biggest impact in most people's life.
Yeah.
Especially if they're trying to be an artist.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with you. To tie it back in.
Yeah.
So when it comes to acknowledging your progress, when it comes to like your career and everything, are you good at acknowledging that progress? Is it something that you acknowledge immediately, or it takes you some time to notice, or how do you operate that?
Progress. That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like I know that I'm making progress, but I acknowledge the progress that I'm making mentally more than anything, I feel like. And I think that's the most important progress to acknowledge, because when it comes down to it, the only things that you are in control of is yourself. And if you can shift your mentality and make progress on who you are as a person, everything around you changes because you impact your environment.
Yeah.
And so I can acknowledge the progress that I'm making as a human being in terms of my discipline, in terms of my skills that I'm developing and stuff like that. And while on paper with the numbers, I mean, like, if I'm being completely like honest, income wise, numbers wise, like it's declining, you know, like on paper, I'm a dying business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as scary and sad and disappointing as that is for me, at the same time, I know that mentally and skills wise, I'm not declining. I'm actually building a lot on top of what I used to know.
Yeah.
And so I'm a much more skilled marketer, and songwriter, producer, but and just person mentally than I was before. And so that progress to me is really important.
Yeah.
It gets me excited. And in terms of on paper, I feel like it will change once, I don't want to say final brick, but like I'm laying these bricks out right now for myself to cross this bridge, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to cross a bridge, laying out these bricks, and I can't cross until the bricks fall into place. Then I can walk it, you know?
Yeah.
And so right now, the bricks are being laid, and although like the progress isn't where I would have wanted it to be,
Yeah.
I know that there's just a few more bricks that need to be laid, and then it'll happen,
Yeah.
And I'm confident in it. I'm pretty confident in it, So yeah, like, I mean, I can acknowledge the progress that I'm making, but it's a different kind of progress than what I guess people on the outside would see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a second part to that question, right?
Yeah. Do you trust in your process? But you answered that at the start.
I do trust in the process.
Yeah. Well, yes, sir. So with that and trusting in the process, I assume that means that you solely trust in the process and are looking to stick to it. In this lyric, you say, I struggle to find where this road's at. Maybe it's safer if I go back. So do you think that you've invested too much to go back? Are you too passionate about this to do anything else?
Yeah. Yeah. So my bad.
Happens, bro. All good.
So basically, the way that, just to break down the lyric further, the way that I think of it in my mind, going back means getting a job. Maybe it's safer if I go back. Going back would mean like going back to, well, yeah, I guess like getting a job. Working a 9 to 5, building an income. Because realistically, that is the quote unquote like safer option,
Yeah.
Because then I would have a consistent income. I wouldn't have to worry about that, and I wouldn't have to worry about like having to make it on my own, you know, because somebody else, my boss, my company that I work for, would help me, you know what I'm saying, in terms of supplying me income.
Yeah.
And so like, in many ways, that's enticing. It's because it is safer, and it's like I could make more money. I could then live on my own. I could then, have my orchard, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's like all sorts of things. But then at the same time too, there's the downsides where it's like, I won't be able to like work for myself. Like I wouldn't be able to make the rules for myself. I wouldn't be able to scale that, sure, I could hop jobs every once in a while and like, well, not hop jobs, but like I can build skills, use those skills to get another job to then like, increase my income. But that'd be like every 2 years, it's a long process. And then there's still like a cap to my profession, whatever it is I choose. As a business myself, there is no cap.
Yeah.
So I can grow it exponentially to whatever point I want. And then I just have more control doing it myself, you know? And so, I don't know if that answers the question or not. What was the question?
Yeah. I mean, the question was, do you think that you've invested too much to go back? Like,
yeah.
is this solely what you're going to do?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've said it before. It's like, I don't think that this would be the end all be all where like the rest of my life, I'm just doing music. This is definitely my focus right now. This is what I want to succeed at right now.
Yeah.
And it's what I'm passionate about. And I don't ever see myself stopping from making music. But I do know my life is long, and I do think that there's a bunch of different endeavors I can do. But a job is not one of those endeavors. It's not necessarily that like I've invested too much. Well, I don't know. I have invested a lot into this. So it's like I don't want to not finish it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like it's not necessarily that I'm stubborn in the ways that like I've invested too much into music that I want to continue to try to make it, but I'm stubborn in the ways where it's like I want to prove that I can do something for myself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's more of what it is.
Right. And just like having no desire to give up that control that you currently have over your circumstances and your life and where it's headed.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 I totally hear you on that. Earlier you had talked about, judging your progress based off of how you're doing personally. And so you said, I can't say I don't hope that one day I'll be better from it all. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to ask, what's one way that music has made you a better person this year?
Like songs specifically, or like the business overall?
The business of the music business, like your career. How's your career helped you personally?
So that's a good question. There's like so many different things that I can, say that how like this has like helped progress me as a person. One of the most recent things though that like I definitely have realized is finances, right? And like just learning about other people's journeys throughout their music career and stuff, and like, I'm always learning. So like I came to realize that I used to invest a lot of money, well, not a lot of money, but a consistent amount of money every month into my music. And when I stopped doing that, like growth slowed down, right? I don't know why I didn't make that connection. Like, obviously,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like my priorities for my money was not in my business. And so my business didn't grow as it was growing before. Mm. And so personal finance, music has like influenced, because it's like I obviously want to grow my music, but that means that I have to allocate a budget every month to my music like I used to. And if I'm going to allocate a budget to my music, I have to know where my money is, like what's coming in, what's going out. And so I have to budget myself personally. And so now that I'm doing that, I feel a lot more in control of my life and a lot less stressed, because it's like I actually know where my money's going.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like that's just like one of the most recent things that music has done for me. But like, yeah, like I'm learning how to finance better because I need to be able to finance my music career.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that like just personal finance in general is now something that you're going to use for the rest of your life, that you have more of an awareness now to it. Mm-hmm. because of your career, exactly. Knowing that you wanted to have that money caused you to figure that out. And even like before we started the podcast, when you were talking about budgeting and saving for like a trip,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that, you now have more tools to be able to do that effectively.
Exactly.
Because you dove in and learned the info.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, I will say like budgeting and stuff, like these are things that I've done like a few years ago. So like I knew how to do this stuff, but it's like comes down to the discipline. And my realization is that even though I knew how to do it, I wasn't doing it. And it's not because like I was oblivious to how to do it, but it was because my priorities weren't budgeting.
Yeah.
And now that my priorities have shifted, that's why it's more effective now, because
Gotcha.
It's like and actually we'll touch on this in my quote this week, I think, but like, yeah, my priorities are more aligned with what matters to me now. And so that means that the budget is included in that. Speaking of budgeting and finance, because like I'm budgeting and financing myself, it's like now I'm being more conscious of like saving for taxes, saving for retirement, things like that, things that will just help me in the future. And it's like going back to the whole priorities thing, like priorities have just shifted, and it's just, yeah. So,
well, I mean, hey, that's good. That's good, because having your priorities in order is, I mean, man, that's like, I don't know, it's a direct correlation to like how well your life's about to go. Is if you have the right priorities, you'll be able to solve the right problems in the right timetable,
Exactly. Right.
Okay. So speaking off, we just kind of went off of the whole, budget thing. So I had a question about this lyric specifically. She deserves so much that I can't yet give her at all. And so I wanted to ask, are you talking personally or are you talking materially? Or both?
Personally, I guess it could be both. Yeah, I feel like in terms of being a boyfriend, I mean, there's definitely things that like I'm trying to like I'm improving on, that like that because there's always work to be done, right? And so I want to be better for my girlfriend, and so I am being better for my girlfriend. But on top of that too, it is materially as well, because there is a lot of things that I wish I could do for her. She loves sushi. And I talk to her all the time that like once I can afford to put a budget of sushi in my sushi, like put a sushi budget in my personal budget, like I'm going to put the sushi budget so that I can take her out to sushi.
Yeah.
Like at least once a month, because she loves sushi. And it's
Yeah.
like she's in, oh shoot, I knocked the mic. But to break that lyric down even further, like she deserves so much, right? Like my girlfriend is honestly like one of the best support systems that I've had. Because when it came to this whole budgeting thing too, like I talked to her about it and talked to her about my goals, and she's like on board with it. Like she does not expect me to spend anything on her. She's like, she wants me to focus on what it is that I want to do.
Yeah.
And like she trusts in my decision making, and like, she trusts in what I feel like is best for me.
Yeah. She trusts your process.
There you go. Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And so knowing that she's completely okay with me allocating like all my, budget towards whatever I need to allocate it towards, and then like, reinvesting in my music and all that. Which is exactly why I think she does deserve a little bit of sushi now and then, you know what I'm saying? Like she's awesome. She's like, she's great. She's great. And so like I from our conversations past, I've had worries about like making money, specifically for like in the future too, and our future together. And she's like told me like, we'll figure it out. I'll be here. And she's like, I'm also not expecting you to pay for my lifestyle either, So she's like, I'm very independent. You're also very independent. Like we'll figure it out together. And if there is a time where like money is an issue, we'll talk about it, Yeah. But she's like, it's not an issue right now between us. So we're good.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like she's going to be here for the whole, she'll be here with me. But at the same time, it's like I do want her to be able to give her what I feel like she deserves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I totally hear that, man. The last question that I have for you, is, you said, I can feel my 20s pass me by, hoping that this means I'll have the life I'd like. And my question is, do you think that this stops in your 20s? Meaning, is there a certain amount of progress that you think that you're not going to have that feeling anymore?
Like, where like my 20s won't be passing me by anymore?
Yeah. Like, do you think at some point you're going to say my 30s are passing me by?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. I think for me, the moment of feeling like I'm living more in the moment is when I'll be able to do things that like will bring me like actual, I don't want to say actual happiness, because happiness is like, we'll go on another tangent. Happiness is like not like a state of being, but more like a practice. You have to practice being happy rather than expecting something to give you happiness, right? And for me, I know like the things that truly do make me happy is spending time with my family, spending time with my friends, like my loved ones and things like that. I have never once regretted spending more time with my family as opposed to working on my, business.
Yeah.
So it's like, I do know that that's what I want. And so to be able to make new experiences or create new experiences, new memories with my family, like going on vacations and stuff, being able to afford it, I feel like when that is my reality, it'll feel more like I'm living in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And obviously I'm always going to be working on my business. It's not like, I'm ever going to stop. But once you have a consistent income, you'll feel, at least I feel like I'll feel like I'm fighting against the clock a little less. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like right now, like there is a hill, that is flat at the top.
Yes.
and it's taking a lot of energy to get to that hill. It's like, as in, like, okay, let me reframe it. I'm pushing a huge boulder, and I'm never gonna stop pushing this boulder, but it definitely takes a lot more effort to push this boulder uphill. But once I get over the hill and we're back on flat ground, it'll still take effort. It just won't feel as hard.
Yeah. Do you think you're gonna find another hill?
I'm sure, like, for sure. I don't think, like, there's always gonna be, like, challenges in life. Like, I don't think that there's ever gonna be a point where I'm, like, just constantly, like, there's no struggles. 'Cause that's just unrealistic.
Yeah.
But whatever, this is the first hill that I need to face. Like,
it's a big one. It's a big hill.
It's a big one. Yeah, the biggest.
Yeah.
And once I finally make it over, sure, there'll be other ones. But at that point, I'll be able to choose my hills a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like there's certain ones that I would rather go towards than other ones.
Yeah.
But I can't do that until I get through this first one.
Yeah. Wow. Well said, dude.
Thank you.
Answered that very well. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, that's what I got for the lyrics. Is there anything that you specifically want to mention?
Well, I wanted to ask you, because you said you don't know if you relate to it or not. We were going to break down the lyrics first. After the breakdown, what is your perspective with this song?
I mean, I pretty much align with, like, most of the answers that you just gave,
Yeah.
And I've feeling similar to this, especially, like, recently. I've been feeling it a lot more, but I think, like, in the past couple months, I've really been looking at life as that example that you just gave with the hill and everything. And it's just like, all right, hold on, just, like, take a break and focus on getting this boulder up the hill and really lock in on that. Because, like you said, once you get that boulder up the hill, it opens up, more possibilities. You have, like, a safety net there, like you get on the hill and, like, you're safe, what I mean?
Right.
Just keep pushing, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just about trying to get there.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And if you guys like hills, terrible transition,
Awful.
feel free to join my email list, where I will send you a new song, because I'm releasing new songs every month. So if you want early access to those new songs, I'll send you that. If you join my email list down below, every month I'll send you that. What time is it?
I don't know. You tell me, bro. I can't read.
Quote of the week.
Let's go.
What's your quote, bro?
Oh, snap. All right. My quote. Seen this clip of a speech from Joe Biden, and this guy sat up there and cooked with this. I don't know if this is him or whatever, or if it's a quote from somebody else. I'm sure it's a quote from somebody else. Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. Fire.
That is true.
Fire.
That's true. And it relates to what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good job, Joe.
Yeah. Bro snapped on that one.
You did. That was a good one. I do like that one. All right. My quote is from this guy on YouTube. He's a YouTuber, small one, relatively small, like 8,000 subscribers. But he talks about mindset, finance, things like that. I just found him recently. His name is Jason Navarrete or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But he said, I might not keep up with the newest phone or the trendiest wardrobe anymore, but I'm content because my spending reflects what matters to me. And so that resonated with me a lot when I heard that. And I think, honestly, that sentence was, like, the sentence that shifted, like, everything for me. I don't know why, but, like, the idea that, like, if I'm not spending, if, like, my spending is not reflecting what it is that actually matters, then I'm not going to be content with my finances ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, of course, I love food. I love spending, like, and I'm not that I would never spend money on food again, because I definitely want to, because I love eating. But if that's the only thing I'm spending my money on, I'm not going to be content with it, because obviously I have other things that matter more to me than just eating food, and we already talked about it, building my business, growing my business. And so hearing that quote, like, kind of realigned my mindset, because I don't know, I feel like to some people that is just like like it's just a quote. You know,
Yeah.
it's like whatever.
Yeah.
But to me, it was like eye opening because I'm like, dude, like if I was spending my money on my business, I wouldn't feel bad about spending money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if I was constantly doing that and putting it towards something that actually mattered to me, then yeah, I would be content. I would be super content. And so that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Is like making sure my spending reflects what matters to me.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one, man. I do really like that. Yeah, that's powerful.
yeah. Shout out Jason.
Shout out Jason.
And shout out you guys for leaving a 5-star review on the podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We really appreciate it.
We do.
This has been Tegan James Pres Washington.
And Adriel Rivera
Thank you. And we make music
in his shed.
Cheers.